Every day, people meet others who have different languages, traditions, beliefs, clothing, accents, and ways of life. These differences are part of culture, and culture is a part of a person's identity. However, instead of respecting these differences, some people quickly judge each other based on what they see or hear. This is called cultural stereotyping. It happens when we make unfair assumptions about someone because of their culture or background. For example, a person may be laughed at because of their accent, clothing, food, religion, or tradition. Some may be called different, strange, or weird just because they do not act the same way as the majority. These actions may seem small, but they can hurt deeply. Cultural stereotyping can lead to discrimination, bullying, exclusion, and loss of confidence. It can make people feel ashamed of who they are. This is why our advocacy focuses on one important message. Every culture deserves respect, and every person deserves dignity.
Good day everyone, my name is Bryan Diza. So in this part, I will discuss the multicultural education and real-world impact. This issue is strongly connected to our lesson. In multicultural education, in this subject, we learned that cultural diversity should not be seen as a problem. Instead, it should be understood, accepted, and valued. Cultural diversity means that people come from different communities and may have different languages, beliefs, values, traditions, and experiences. These differences make society richer and more meaningful. But when people do not understand cultural diversity, they may create stereotypes. They may believe false ideas about a group of people without truly knowing them. This can affect real life, especially in schools, workplaces, and communities. A student who experiences stereotyping may feel afraid to speak, participate, or share their culture. A person who is always judged may begin to feel excluded or less important. This is not only unfair but also harmful to the community. Multicultural education teaches us to build inclusive spaces. It reminds us that everyone should feel safe, accepted, and respected regardless of their cultural background. It also teaches us the value of intercultural dialogue or respectful communication between people from different cultures.
My name is Arthur De Guzman. I now present to you cultural relativism and ethical understanding. One important concept that helps us understand this issue is cultural relativism. Cultural relativism means understanding a culture based on its own values, history, and context instead of judging it only through our own personal beliefs. Sometimes we may see a tradition, language, clothing style, or practice that is unfamiliar to us. But unfamiliar does not mean wrong, different does not mean inferior. What may seem unusual to one person may be meaningful and important to another community. Cultural relativism teaches us to pause before judging. It can encourage us to ask respectful questions, listen carefully, and understand the reason behind cultural practices. This does not mean accepting actions that harm others, rather it means avoiding quick judgment and learning to see people with fairness and respect. When we practice cultural relativism, we become more open-minded. We stop saying that this is strange and start asking, what does it mean to them? This simple change can help reduce stereotypes and build better relationships among people from different backgrounds.
Cultural stereotyping is not only a social issue, it is also a moral issue. Every person has worth, and no one should be treated as less because of their culture, language, or identity. As students, we have a moral responsibility to create a respectful and inclusive environment. We can begin with simple actions. We can listen before judging. We can avoid jokes that insult someone's culture, of accent, or appearance. We can include classmates who feel left out. We can also speak up when we see discrimination. Sometimes, being silent allows harmful actions to continue. But when we choose to act with kindness and courage, we help create a safer space for everyone. Schools and communities can also promote cultural awareness activities, group discussions, and lessons that show the value of different cultures. These actions can help people understand one another better. Our advocacy is simple: replace stereotypes with understanding, discrimination with inclusion, and judgment with respect. Our differences should not divide us, they should teach us.